Hey, this is Ronnie LeBlanc from Expedition Bigfoot, and you're listening to the Paranormally Zone.
Look, I know the supernatural is something that isn't supposed to happen, but it does happen.
A ghostly apparition in the dark of night.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
So there are Bigfoot encounters slash sightings slash stories slash cases slash whatever, right? That are well known, famous, perhaps even infamous. And then there are Bigfoot sightings slash encounters that are obscure, to say the least. Bigfoot sightings such as the one that we are going to discuss today are absolutely fascinating. All cases of Bigfoot encounters are fascinating. But these little known ones, when you get kind of into the dirt and the grime of the details and the police files that we are going to be referencing, it adds a little extra oomph for me personally. And of course, as everyone knows, I am speaking to Mr. Poopyhead himself. Oh, I'm sorry, not Poopyhead. My my brother in arms, my brother from the same mother, actually, filling in the hefty shoes for my co-host with the ghosts, Mr. Mike Carbno, who is not available on this fine Saturday. This is November 8th, 2025. Yes, I am talking about the one, the only Mr. Show, formerly known as Mr. Show, my brother Joe. It is good to see you. As I said, you got some lofty goals to shoot for here. You're filling in for Mr. Carbno, the paranormal poster boy himself.
I know this is going to be hard shoes to fill, but I'm going to fill them as best I can. Woo! That sounded pretty bad, but not really.
Well,
no, that's
okay.
I have a bad mind. It's like, whatever. Who cares? But yes,
I have a bad mind.
I've got a bad mind. What was the last thing I said that made you crack up? I can't remember.
Oh, well, we can't repeat it on the air, that's for sure.
No,
I know
but
that.
Yes, thank you so much for asking me. And Mr. Mike Carbno is busy today, so I wish him a happy, hearty, wonderful day, and hope all is well.
Absolutely. Yes. And yeah, thank you, Joe, for finding the time to do that. I do this. Absolutely appreciate it. And as always, when you fill in on the flagship for the Paranormally Zone, which, by the way, in case you are new to the program, you are listening to the Paranormally Zone, your weekly dose of all things, well, bi-weekly dose of all things. Hell, you guessed it, paranormal, strange, and mysterious. My name is Patrick, and I am joined, not as always, but today by the aforementioned Joseph, my brother in arms. And we're talking, it seems like, yet again, we always go to this topic. It's a favorite of ours. We're talking Bigfoot, and we got a good one tonight. Why is it that when you join, we always seem to talk about the hairy fella known as Sasquatch?
Not sure. I think that's just our go-to. You know, you've covered so many wonderful paranormal topics over the years with said Mr. Carbno that sometimes it's tricky to try to come up with an idea. And Bigfoot is just a wonderful fallback because you can go in so many directions. So I'm excited to talk about, because there's, like you said, you just discovered, or you and then I following just discovered these new case files regarding this new episode, yes, which are very intriguing, obviously. But so yeah,
100%.
I think it's just kind of not easy at all, but it's just kind of I'm mostly intrigued with the big man himself, or big lady,
I think
or
so.
Big whatever it is.
Yeah, I think I like how you put it. It's a good fallback for sure. I mean, we talk about all things paranormal, strange, and mysterious. Bigfoot definitely falls into all of those categories. I do consider it paranormal. There are a lot of people who believe that Bigfoot is much more than just a physical being. You know, maybe there's something interdimensional about it. Maybe there's something spiritual about it. So definitely it is out of the normal. Therefore, it is paranormal. Yeah, it's a fascinating subject. You and I have been fascinated by it since we were wee little lads. I mean, I go back to when I had nightmares about the goddamn big hairy man. I still hear the wails in my nightmares from back in the day, Joe. There's something there. Maybe either you or I are meant to finally encounter one of these.
Absolutely.
These
and then I had
creatures.
That wonderful experience with a friend of mine and gave me their experiences or what they've heard about Bigfoot when I called you up super excited about a month ago or whenever that was. And so, it just keeps, it just fascinates me why, obviously after these centuries and decades that it still fascinates everybody. And and for many people, it's still just kind of like, nah, something like that can't exist. But after studying and researching it and hearing stories, and then about a month ago when my friend told me their experiences and things like that, it just reiterates the idea that, why not?
Yes, why not? I mean, to think that scientists have discovered everything on this planet is absolutely absurd. I mean, I always kind of jokingly say, well, apparently we know everything. Ghosts don't exist because some scientists said, nope, it's impossible. They don't exist. Absolutely. And Bigfoot doesn't exist because some researchers / scientist says, nope, they don't exist. So therefore, well, if we're going to go along with that argument, then just stop science altogether. We know everything. There's no need to continue searching for anything new because we know it's not there. I think that's just absolutely absurd.
Right.
But anyways,
there's 1.1 million deer in Minnesota. 1.1 million deer. Now, yes, we see deer all the time, but you don't see 1.1 million. If there were 1.1 million Bigfoots in Minnesota, you would see them on the side of the road occasionally.
You'd see them every now and then, right? You sadly probably see a dead one lying in the ditch.
Lying in the ditch. But if you're talking about rarity and scarcity, how many times have you seen a mountain lion in Minnesota? How many times have you seen a lynx or even a coyote or a wolf? I mean, those are
bobcats. I mean, it's bears.
How many times you see those things ever in your lifetime? You perhaps you will. Because, of course, there's a lot more of them than there are Bigfoots. And if you only have 60 Bigfoots, let's say, how are you going to, and they're super highly intelligent, how are you going to see them?
Nope, I get it. And it's an argument that we've made, for years. I mean, not like it's a new argument that we came up with.
Exactly. I know it's not new.
It's something that we agree with. As you said, Joe, I mean, how often do you ever hear about, just as an example, experienced hunters who have spent the majority of their lives, we're in the middle of deer hunting season. Well, the beginning of deer hunting season right now. People who have been out in the woods for decades. How often have they stumbled across a dead bear? How often do you hear stories about, carcasses as such being found and discovered by people out for a walk? It's especially if Sasquatch is perhaps prone to live in an area where there's a lot of moisture, throughout the year, bones tend to decompose a hell of a lot quicker in areas that are heavily, moisturized.
Yeah,
that sounds
like
bad,
wetlands,
but you know what I'm saying.
Like that, yeah.
And it's just not a common thing to discover anything as such. And I'm talking as if I'm an experienced hunter out in the woods. No, far from it. But I'm going from what I've read. I'm going from what I've quote unquote researched. I'm going from having a passion for this subject for decades. Okay, well, I mean, we may not be experts, but we're not idiots either. I think we have a worthy, valid opinion on such topics as this. And so we're gonna talk about it again today. Woo! Boy, I'm breathless.
Woo! As Ric Flair would say.
It's almost as if we're passionate about something like this, Joe. So, damn.
Yeah, it makes.
All right.
It's I love it's just an amazingly fascinating topic, subject, and creature out there that is amazingly, way beyond rare. It's just hard to ever locate a big 8-footer.
Well, and they're And it's assumed if they do exist that they are highly intelligent. So guess what? Maybe they bury their dead. I mean, there's any number of arguments you could go on. They don't want to be seen. They're not going to be seen. Okay. Now, before we dive into this case is come to be known as the Big Muddy Monster. It's utterly fascinating. It took place back in 1973 in Illinois, Murfreesboro, Illinois. It's a fascinating story. I'm quite astounded that I wasn't familiar with this beforehand. We're going to go over the actual police report, the case file. It's a fascinating read, fascinating incident for sure.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to share that with you. We're going to discuss it. Before we do that, we are going to open up with where's my drum roll? I don't have it. I don't have my soundboards out right now, but that's okay. Our usual Ghost Gab segment. Joe, Mike, and I usually start off every episode with a Ghost Gab segment, and you have something to add to such segment. This segment is where we talk about all things paranormal, ghostly, unexplained, be it personal experiences or theories, ideas, future paranormal plans, or any number of things. But you've had some interesting and intriguing experiences recently, Joe. Briefly share with me, again, and with our vast audience of passionate paranormal fans. What's been going on with you lately? It's kind of intriguing.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. As you know, in said workplace, there is a said auditorium, and in said auditorium, there's always kind of some funky stuff that going on. So about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was in said auditorium getting ready for said play.
It's not called said.
No.
Yeah, it's not called said auditorium, by the way, just in case people are wondering.
Getting ready for my play rehearsal with the kiddies. And so I was in there standing by myself because I'm always the first one there.
Humans, not cats.
Right. Standing there by myself like I am, just kind of daydreaming about what I'm going to do for the day. And then a young boy who's in the play comes in and says, hello, hi, how you doing? Yeah, good. Yep, ready for rehearsal? Yeah, we chit-chat for a little bit. And then I had to go meet somebody in the library, which is right next to our auditorium. And I had to go meet a person in the library to give him some paperwork, yada, yada, yada. So I went into the library and that person wasn't there. So I came out of the library to go down a little bit of steps that go back into the auditorium. And before I hit the steps, I hear, oh, hello, Joseph. And I was about to respond because it sounded like one of my cast members that it says in the show. And I was like, I'm going to go walk in there and say, oh, hi, so-and-so. It was clear as day. It just said, hello, Joseph. And I immediately turned because that's what I heard. And I went down in there and nobody. And that little kid had left. But he didn't sound like that. He sounds like a little kid. This sounded like a 16, 17-year-old kid that's in my show. And they always call me Joseph. Only a handful of kids call me Joseph. And so I only knew there was like 2 or 3 people that say that. Everybody else calls me Mr. Joe or whatever. But only 2 or 3 say Joseph. And they said, hello, Joseph. I was like, oh, cool. They're here already. So I went down to say hello, and there's nobody around.
And it sounded to you like it was coming from the auditorium?
Yeah, absolutely,
or
it was coming from the auditorium. Because I know people can't see that.
No, it's okay.
It's below. I go down a pair of steps, and the door is open that goes into the auditorium. And I was about to go down the steps, and they said, hello, Joseph. And that was... And I know what I heard because it was immediate reaction by my body and everything, because I was going to say, oh, hello. But I wanted to where you were standing, where would someone else have to be in order to see you where you were at when you heard it? Does that make sense? They would have to, well, let's see, when I'm looking from the auditorium to the steps, well, they either had to be standing by the door, obviously, to see my full frame and everything, or they could be a handful of, 10, 15 feet into the auditorium and you could still see me. Well, I suppose you could go all the way across and still see me from afar through that door, but not very far.
But there was no one in the auditorium.
No. The young boy had left and went back out into the hallway to wait for his friends. And
So where, if I apologize, I don't mean to sound like I'm an interrogator
God, no.
because I'm
Jeez.
fascinated by this. So we're eliminating the auditorium as a potential for someone seeing you where you were at that point when you heard the "Hello, Joseph," right? The auditorium's out of question. Correct?
I think the auditorium, you could, like I said, you could see me from the auditorium. Yes.
Right, but we're eliminating that because you're saying that no one was in there.
Exactly. Right.
So where else could anyone else have seen you, since the auditorium is not an option? Anyone else could have seen you from where, perhaps? When you
Just
heard
from the
voice?
library, somebody could have looked through the door, but I went through the door, but you would had to have been fairly behind me from the library. You couldn't have been walking into the library and seen me from where I was. You would have had to follow me and be directly behind me.
Ooh, that kind of creeped me out a little bit.
To say
so maybe
hello.
something was behind you. Did it? But you said it sounded like it was coming from the auditorium.
Well, absolutely
So
did. It came. That's exactly because my head turned, everything went, and I was like, "Oh!" I mean, obviously, you're here. Your first reaction is that sound seemed to come from here,
right?
But in any type of older school, I mean, sound probably is like surround sound. I suppose in any type of weird environment, reverberation from wherever. I guess, but that's what was my initial reaction. So it was just, clear as day. Like, yeah, I can't explain it.
Wow.
It's weird because I know nobody was in the library because I had
did it
been there.
Creep you out at all? Did you get a vibe from it at all?
No,
did you
not at all. Because
Ooh.
at first I just thought it was one of my cast members, and then after I walked in there, and then there was nobody there, I just immediately went, "Oh, that was kind of cool." So I didn't feel. Yeah, because you immediately thought of you.
Me.
It's like, oh my god!
Yeah, that's really okay. That's God. I wish I could. I mean, I've been there several times myself, and I need a visual again of like who could have seen you and who would have said that. Hello, Joseph, from that distance, I guess. If there was no one in the auditorium, that's what's intriguing me.
Yeah, and then we have
right
the bus
now.
turnaround. Like I'm coming out of the library to go down the steps to go into the auditorium, but coming out of the library in the back door are two glass doors, and then out and right outside there is the bus turnaround. So all the buses were lining up to pick up the kids to go home. But you just hear the buses going and whatever. I would have looked that way, and if somebody would have yelled if they would have seen me, because I wouldn't have heard them through the doors.
Yeah. Well, right. I mean, that doesn't seem like something that someone.
No one's going to say "Hello,
anyways.
Joseph" from a bus.
Yeah. So that's intriguing.
Otherwise, I would have seen it immediately right there. Somebody would have been doing this.
Yes.
And like, "Hello, Joseph," but I would have been. There you are.
In case anyone is new to the program and they're perhaps wondering why this even matters, it does matter because Joe has had, and several other people have had, really intriguing experiences in that theater. I mean, I've been there with you. There's a lot of stuff that may be going on in that school that is really intriguing. Potentially a paranormal, I don't want to call it a hotspot, but there's definitely some paranormal activity going on there. I mean, you even have seen something up in like the what's that called again? The skywalk, not the skywalk.
Light booth? Not the light booth. But
well, the light booth for sure.
We sat up there one time and do it.
Yes, a couple times. I mean, we don't need to dive too deep into those weeds, because those discussions are available on past episodes. If people are intrigued, they are available on the Patreon page. I believe the old episodes going back to the Ultimate Route podcast days. But yeah, there's something intriguing going on in that school, particularly in that theater. So that's why that adds a little weight to you hearing this voice.
Yeah, and then there was a second thing that happened just maybe a week later. What's that? You didn't tell me about that. Well, we have a big screen that's above the stage, and you push a button and it comes down, and then you can watch movies
Yep.
or use it or whatever. So there's a big screen,
Like a projector screen?
big projector screen. Yep. And so I'm standing out in the audience directing rehearsal. Well, there's a person here and a person here, nobody in this area, and then people to my right facing the stage. And all of a sudden, you hear the cheek, and the screen starts, and it comes all the way down. And it's like you have to physically touch the screen box for it to come down. So it came down on its own. And
intriguing.
So that was kind of cool. Never happened. I've been there, 20 plus years, and never.
You've been there for a long time.
Yep.
So does it need a new battery? Is that what's going on?
No, it doesn't go by batteries.
I don't know how it runs. Yeah, I don't know how it runs.
Just a touchscreen box on the wall, and you have to go clunk in order to. Then you have to unclunk and then click it, and then it comes down. So that was interesting.
So it has to be like physically manipulated in order for the screen to come down.
Yep. You have to touch it with your finger. Boop boop boop.
Oh, and there's no one back there.
There was nobody back there. Nope.
Oh, that's intriguing. That's intriguing.
Yep.
I like stuff like that.
So that came down.
I still think that you can.
And then I think my wife said the same thing, where the screen came down on her her screen in her room has been shutting on and off every now and then by itself.
Oh, and that's the same room that she's had
with the
other
noises up
interesting
above her. Yep.
experiences going on. Yep. I need to get back there, and we need to do some more. We need to look into it some more. Yeah,
for sure. It's always fun to look at whether it turns out anything, and all of a sudden you realize it's some homeless man who's been in there for 33 years.
And he's the one who said, "Hello, Joseph."
Exactly, because he lives underground and has these little holes looking up going, "Hello, Joseph."
Hello, Joseph. How are you?
Now, buddy.
So, got to get back there. So that's really intriguing. I like that. I think that's more potential. It's not evidence by any means, but it's definitely anecdotal, quote unquote evidence for sure. So need to get back there, man. Need to get back there. So, well, I suppose we should segue into the topic at hand, Joseph. We're talking about the big muddy monster, the sightings that took place back in late June of 1973 in the city of Murfreesboro, Illinois. Yep, I'm pulling up the site right now. There's the big old, there's the weathered folder right there with the permanent marker written right on it. Big Muddy Monster, 1973. This is available for anybody who wants to go look at it. So if you're interested in Bigfoot sightings, I highly recommend you go to murfreesboro.com. And it will lead you directly to these police files. And that's what we're going to be referencing. We're going to be going through these and commenting and seeing where it goes. Case file 73-2566. Several witnesses over a course of a day and a half, I believe, might have been 2 days, reported seeing something, Joe. Reported seeing something. Took place this first incident reported by a Mrs. Harry Ray. Address, such and such. I won't give away her address, but it's in Murfreesboro, Illinois. This is the actual report. Type of incident / complaint, sighting of an unknown creature. Received by the radio dispatcher. At approximately 2212 hours, June 26, 1973, the police department received a phone call from one Mrs. Harry Ray stating that her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend had just seen a large creature in the field behind their residence. Officers Nash and Manwaring were dispatched to the scene. That sounds like a classic 70s television police show, right? Nash and Manwaring. Upon arrival, and feel free to jump in and interject anytime, Joe.
Ponzi and whatever, Chips, the guy.
Oh yeah, Chips. That's right.
Larry
that's right.
Ponzi or what the heck? Ponch. Excuse me.
Ponzi. Ponzi scheme.
Ponzi. Punch! There you go.
There you go. Same decade, wrong characters, but that's okay. You got them. Upon arrival, officers were met by Cheryl A. Ray and Randy E. Creeth, whom or which gave the following account of what had just occurred. Randy and Cheryl were sitting on the patio talking when they observed something moving around a patch of small trees in the field behind their house. Now, when I read stuff like this, I always try to visualize in my mind, the setting, the scene.
So, listeners, close your eyes and
yes,
deep into thought and let your mind run wild.
Oh. If you need to have your pants around your ankles, you go for it. It's fine.
Grab something to drink, push on pause, come right back, and dive right in.
And go watch Ponzi on the show Chips.
Yeah, Ponzi and the show Chips with Larry. Even though that's his first name, Larry Wilcox. That popped in my head, the actor.
Oh, wow.
It was Ponch and whatever his partner's name, which was Larry Wilcox, the real guy. Whatever, shut up. Yeah. I'm shutting up. Okay.
Both Randy and Cheryl watched this thing, I guess, and observed this large creature walk out of the patch of trees near the edge of the yard, and then turn around and walk back into the field. The creature was described as being between 7 and 8 feet tall, weighing between 300 and 350 pounds. So obviously this is a gigantic being that they're estimating to be perhaps 350 pounds, perhaps 8 feet tall.
Right.
Now, in Bigfoot scale, that sounds like a skinny Bigfoot. I will say that.
Right.
He's a slender, hairy man.
He's in shape. He's a
He's in shape.
marathon Bigfoot.
He's a marathon runner. That's right. They described it as the color of it as pale, dirty white or cream colored, and standing on 2 feet. Well, of course. Creeth stated that he walked toward it. Oh, wow, he's got balls. He walked toward it and got approximately 30 to 40 feet from it. That's not very far away. 30 feet? Okay, Joe, let me ask you honestly. If you saw something like this, would you have jumped up and started walking towards it, or would you have just kind of sat there and observed it?
I mean,
it's a tough question.
It is a tough, because I've thought about that. If I ever saw one run across the road when I'm coming home at night or something, I have this weird feeling that I would stop and then roll down the window and listen. But I would not. I'm pretty damn sure I would not get any closer to. If it was standing there, I would observe it. I doubt it. I would get in. I would go up to it. Or
you think your adrenaline? You think your adrenaline would be pumping, so maybe you would do something that you normally wouldn't. So I mean, it's impossible to answer
until you get to that situation. I don't know. You might poop your pants and scream and run. Some people do that.
Creeth also stated that it had a strong, musky odor.
There you go. There's the smell.
So I immediately think of Kids in the Hall and the Husk Musk sketch, of course. We won't dive down that path. Officers inspected the area where the creature was seen and found weeds broken down and somewhat of a path where something had walked through. Jerry Nellis was notified to bring his dog to the area to see if the dog would track the creature. Upon arrival of Nellis and his dog, which was a German Shepherd, trained to attack and search buildings and track, so it's a police dog, obviously. The dog was then led to the area where the creature was last seen. The dog immediately began tracking down the hill where the creature was reported to have gone. Okay. As the dog started down the hill, it kept stopping and sniffing. This is intriguing. Stopping and sniffing at a slime substance on the weeds. The slime appeared periodically as the dog tracked the creature. Nellis put some of the slime between his fingers, rubbed it, and it left a black coloring on his fingers. I have never heard of slime deposits during an alleged Bigfoot sighting. That is really intriguing.
That would seem like you put it to the idea of interdimensional portal type of stuff, where you maybe leave some kind of
Ooh,
trace when you do something like that. You know what I mean?
I like the thought of that. That's interesting. I was going towards, did he have a dirty bum? Is that Bigfoot poo?
Right?
That's the first thing that popped in my brain, but that's just, I guess I like yours a lot better.
Instead of Bigfoot poo poo.
It's interdimensional residue. I like that a lot more. That's interesting. I'm not joking. I've never heard of a slime residue. So maybe I'm ignorant. Maybe that's something that's quite common. I've never heard of it.
You and I have researched and seen millions of different, not millions. I'm not paraphrasing, but I'm over exaggerating the
Yes,
whole idea.
there you go.
But I've never come across that in even from experts. You know, when you've talked to many experts before as well, Patrick, about
Never,
Bigfoot.
never heard anything about a slime residue. Each time the dog found amounts of this slime, the dog would hesitate. The creature was tracked down the hill to a pond and around the pond to a wooded area south of the pond, where the dog attempted to pull Nellis down a steep embankment. So the dog's getting kind of, he's sensing something.
Right.
He's trying to pull the officer downward. He's like, come with me, I got something here. The area where the dog tracked the creature was too thick and bushy to walk through, so the dog was pulled off of the trail and returned to the car. Officers then returned and searched the entire area with flashlights. Officer Nash, Nellis, and the dog then proceeded to the area directly south of where the dog was pulled off of the track. The area was at the end of the first road to the west past blank. I'm not going to read off their address. The area is approximately 1/4 mile south of the area of the pond behind, again, blank address. The officers and the dog again began to search the area to see if the dog would again pick up the scent. Nellis and the dog approached an abandoned farm, and Nellis called to Officer Nash to come to the area as the dog refused to enter the barn. Ooh, that's kind of intriguing. I mean, this is a dog that's trained to attack, that's trained to enter buildings.
Not be hesitant about something, yeah.
Ooh, yeah, it led itself to this barn, then it stopped, and it's like, I'm not going in.
No, you can go in, go right ahead.
Nellis actually pushed the dog inside, but the dog immediately ran out. This is an abandoned barn, I should say. Immediately afterwards, Nash and Nellis searched the barn, but they found nothing. Nellis stated that the dog was trained to search buildings and had never backed down from anything before.
There you go.
He could therefore not explain why the dog became scared and would not go inside the barn. Now, this is the police report, obviously. This dog is an experienced dog. The officer knows his dog. This dog has never hesitated to enter a building before. It just happens to refuse to enter this building after following a track that was laden with slime after an alleged Bigfoot sighting. Upon further search, the officers were unable to locate any creature. As an aside, an additional note, neighbor Dave Barrell, neighbors of Ray, stated that approximately 10 minutes prior to Creeth and Ray's sighting of the creature, his own child came running into his house and stated that there was a, quote, large ghost in their backyard.
Ooh, golly.
Barrell stated he thought nothing of it until Creeth and Cheryl reported their sighting.
Mm-hmm.
So their neighbor, their little kid, comes running into the house and says there's a huge ghost in their backyard. Wow. That's kind of creepy. I mean, because the kid doesn't know any other way to really describe it. I mean, he sees this thing in their backyard and he's like, Ma, Dad, there's a ghost.
It's not a
how
cow.
Coincidental. How coincidental is that their neighbor claimed to see something like this?
Right.
10 minutes before Ray
I gotcha.
and Cheryl
I know
see something.
That's and kids don't, kids see what they see and they're going to tell you.
They're going to tell you, right? We are going to share more reports from more people in the area, obviously, of this sighting. This one is also labeled as sighting of unknown creatures. Same date, June 26, 1973. We shall scroll down. Pardon me. Sometimes you know how computers decide to have a mind of their own.
While I burst into flames. Sorry. That's a music interlude. It's a music interlude. We're waiting, and I'm singing Incubus.
Oh, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So this is actually a different date. This is a week earlier and 3 years later. So I would say this is quite the different date, Joe.
3 years later, but a week earlier.
3 years later. And June 19th, 3 years later. Same locale. Site of an unknown creature. Case number 62908. This was approximately 2159 hours when one Mrs. Ray Kells called Murfreesboro Police Department. She wanted to speak with police officers referencing a creature her son and 2 friends had just seen. Same Officer Nash, but a different Officer Schultz were dispatched to the area. So this Officer Nash was like going, gosh, again?
It's like, come on now. Jeez.
But again, 3 years, that's a long time. That's a long time. Upon arrival, officers were met by complainant Kells, her son Ricky Kells, David Taylor, and Russell Ward. Also, the parents of Taylor Ward were present. Officers were advised by the parents that their children had seen a large creature behind blank address. This is the same road, standing next to the woods. The parents stated that they were hesitant in calling, but their children's actions convinced them that they had actually seen something. These are parents. We're parents, Joe. We know our kids.
Exactly.
They know that when they're telling the truth, and they should probably report something.
Right. And let me reiterate this for people who...
Yes, please jump in, interject. I hate it when it turns into like story time.
No, look, I'm just going to reiterate the idea of people and their truths, or kids telling truths. And in all honesty, if you raise your kids right, and you are good and decent and fair, and you do your best as parents, your kids are going to be all right. Now, you get to understand and know your kids and know truth and fibs, and you know all that kind of stuff. But in general,
Yes.
if my kids came up to me and said, Dad, this is what I saw, I will believe them, because they aren't liars. And if you know your kids, why
agree.
would somebody... There's no reason to lie to a parent. Your parent's not going to give you $1 million or things for saying something, because they don't have it. But
no. And the thing is,
they're coming
the
to
kids,
you because they trust you. You're their parents.
They trust you. Yes, 100%. 100%. That's the case, for sure. So again, and you can, as parents, you know right off the bat, it's like, okay, I can tell you're goofing around. You got that kind of, you're making something up. You're bored.
Yeah.
You're looking for attention, any number of reasons, or from a legit, like, I just saw this and I need to tell you what I saw.
Absolutely. For sure.
So that's the same here with these parents right here. Officers were led to the area where the sighting had taken place. Officers searched the wooded area just south of where the sighting was made. Officers were unable to find any tracks, but did locate an area approximately 100 yards into the woods where several large rocks had been recently overturned. That's intriguing. 100 yards into the woods, there happens to be a quote-unquote Bigfoot sighting. Large rocks turned upside down. Okay. Yeah, maybe a bear's out there digging for berries.
Grubs.
Grubs, right.
Ants.
Exactly.
Larry's
out there
always
again.
digging for Larry.
Always looking for Ponzi and Larry.
Ponzi and Larry. They're under them damn rocks. Especially Ponzi.
Well, again, this will be a reference to our Patreon Retro and Randoms, but some of Joe's favorite movie series were Tom Cruise's Mission Accomplished.
Best movies ever, Mission Accomplished.
Best movies.
All they did was they robbed a bank, but they didn't rob a bank, and it's now accomplished. They accomplished my task.
Yep. So the sequel was not quite accomplished.
Not quite accomplished 2. Not quite accomplished 2. Whatever.
Okay, so Officers, after discovering these large overturned rocks, interviewed each of the subjects which claimed to have seen the creature. This is how 10-year-old Ricky Kells described his sighting. Ricky stated that he, David Taylor, and Russell Ward were playing wiffle ball when they ran off to look for the foul ball that was hit between two houses. Oh, that sounds so familiar, Joe. We used to do stuff like that.
Absolutely.
I mean, not with wiffle ball, though, with a tennis ball and an aluminum bat.
Surprised we didn't break many windows.
Oh, we did.
We did.
But as he was walking down the hill, he observed, this is 10-year-old Ricky, he observed a large creature he described as approximately 7 to 8 feet tall, standing next to the woods. Ricky hollered at David and Russell, and they also observed it. We, the kids, then ran home to tell our parents. Ricky described it as being approximately, again, 7 to 8 feet tall, had what appeared as large ears, and appeared to be gray in color. The creature was described to be covered with hair and did not move while being observed. Ricky said that as they were running away, the creature apparently entered the woods and he could hear a loud thumping as it walked away. 11-year-old David Taylor, his version went as such. David stated as he, Ricky, and Russell were looking for said wiffle ball, Ricky screamed and pointed towards the woods. When he looked, he observed a large creature standing next to the woods. David said they then ran home to tell their parents. Again, these separate interviews are lining up perfectly. These kids are questioned separately. Sounds pretty similar so far. Yeah. David described it as a being approximately 7 feet tall, gray in color, and also said it appeared to have large ears or lumps on its head. That's intriguing. I haven't really heard of Bigfoot being described as having large ears.
Yeah, absolutely no.
He said it made a loud thumping noise, again, similar, on the ground as it left and walked back towards the woods. David said while he was observing it, it didn't move. He heard the noise as he was leaving the area. 13-year-old Russell's account, Russell stated that while he, Ricky, and David were looking for the wiffle ball, Ricky screamed, yes, and then he and David saw a large creature standing next to the woods. He said that he observed it turn sideways and raise its left arm just before they ran. He said he also heard a thumping sound as it walked away. Russell described it as being very tall. Very similar descriptions.
Oh, very similar, yeah.
Very similar. This is going back again to the original sighting. This is from the day before the original sighting. Sorry, we're going back and forth. This is June 25th, 1973, the same year, same date, nearly identical as the original sighting we described. Same city, Murfreesboro, Illinois.
Same Ponzi and Larry.
Same Ponzi and Larry. Can't get rid of those a-holes. Location, the Big Muddy River at Boat Ramp. Lindell Street. Oh, I shouldn't have said Lindell Street, but that's okay. The complainant, this time the observer, I should say, was one Randy Needham. Type of incident, sighting of unknown creature. Case number 73-2547. At approximately 2,355 hours, they're all really close in time here. This is kind of unique as well, as far as time of day. This sighting took place June 25th, 1973, again, a day prior to the original sighting we shared. Complainant came to the MPD and reported sighting some type of creature in the wooded area north of the Big Muddy River. Again, one Officer's Nash and this time Officer Lindsay were dispatched to the area.
Nash always hangs around, but he's always got a different partner.
He does. What's wrong with Nash? I mean, come on.
Let's delve into Nash for a second.
And as I want to know is like when these Bigfoot sightings are reported, where is Nash?
Where is Nash? And why is there always a different partner? I mean, what's going on, Nash?
I mean, does he need some deodorant? I mean, what's going on with
what's going on there?
With Nash? Upon arrival, officers spotted the entire area and were unable to locate anything unusual. The complainant met with officers at the scene and described what had occurred as follows. Complainant was parked on the south side of the parking area next to the woods. Complainant heard a loud screaming sound in the wooded area and observed a large creature approximately 7 feet tall. The creature appeared to have light-colored hair matted with mud. The creature appeared to be walking on 2 legs and was proceeding toward his car. The creature continued the screaming. That'd be terrifying.
No
You
kidding.
see this thing? It's screaming and walking towards you in your car.
I'm going home now. Thank you very much.
Yes. And if this was a classic cheesy horror film, of course he would not find his keys, or he would fumble trying to find his keys.
And then it wouldn't start.
That wouldn't start. Yeah. The creature continued his screaming, actually changing tones, and that kind of gave me the heebie-jeebies. And while still proceeding towards the complainant's car. Complainant then left the area and went straight to the police department. A Judy Johnson, who was also inside the car. Oh, what's going on there, complainant, with Miss Judy Johnson? What are you guys doing inside the car?
JJ, Judy Johnson.
Is this a lover's lane we're looking into here? Come on, Judy Johnson.
Were they listening to the Beatles? That was bad. I couldn't think.
Find the Beatles.
I wanted to say Dion and the Belmonts, not the Beatles.
Oh, that too. There you go. Judy Johnson, who was also inside the car, stated that she heard the screaming as well, but was unable to see the creature due to the darkness. Complainant Needham and Johnson also stated that no human would be able to scream or make a noise as loud as what they said to have heard.
Mm-hmm.
Officers located impressions in the mud. Hey, this is the first time we've heard of actually finding impressions in the mud. Approximately 3 to 4 inches deep and approximately 10 to 12 inches in length.
Okay.
With an approximate length of 3 inches, or approximate width of 3 inches. So we've got 12-foot tracks, 4 inches in.
Good Lord!
Good Lord, he's a fatty Bigfoot.
In fact, he should be stuck and standing, not moving.
I know. That's probably why he's screaming. He's stuck in the mud. Oh, man. I feel sorry for him now. Dang it. He's an obese Bigfoot. He's just stuck in the mud.
He's asking for some Ozempic or something. It's like,
I know.
Even though it didn't exist back then.
Yeah, that's why he's changing in tone. His howls are changing his tone because he's out of breath. Damn it. So, again, 4 inches sunk down into the mud. That implies a pretty, pretty hefty weight. And up to 12 inches long. Okay, so that's, I mean, it's a decent size foot.
Mm-hmm.
At approximately 0200 hours, officers Nash and Lindsay, Deputy Scott, and it was a different guy.
Good Lord, is it with Nash?
It's Nash and Lindsay and Deputy Scott. And complainant returned to the area with boots to inspect the area further where the creature was seen. Officers discovered prints in the mud similar to the prints described above, except they were actually deeper in the mud this time and not as long as the others had appeared. Officer Lindsay left the area to obtain a camera to photograph the prints. The prints in the mud were very erratic, and that there were no two the same distance apart, and some were actually 5 to 6 feet apart.
Ooh.
That's a hefty stride. But also some of the prints were found very close together. That's intriguing. So that's a good way of describing them. Very erratic. I mean, they're all over the place. Close together and then 6 feet apart. Interesting. While Officer Lindsay was away from the areas, Officer Nash and Scott and complainant Needham followed the prints, in the mud toward the river. While officers and complainant were bent over some of the tracks inspecting them, another loud, shrill scream came from the wooded area to the southeast near the river, which seemed to come from approximately 100 yards away. Complainant Needham immediately stated to the officers that was the creature. Officers and Needham retreated east of I think it says east there, it's getting a little difficult to read, east of the wooded area back to the squad car. and advised Officer Lindsay of what occurred and requested one Sergeant Tincher to come to the scene to photograph the tracks. Officers continued to search the area with spotlights on the squad cars, but were unable to locate any movement. Upon arrival, Sergeant Tincher photographed several of the prints in the mud, and all the personnel left the area. That's okay. Screaming, perhaps obese Bigfoot stuck in the mud.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
You never know.
And again, we're going back and forth here. Now, this one, Joe, goes back to 1976. We're going from 73, 76, 73, 76.
Now, how can I ask you a question?
Yes,
Like,
please. This is all stuff. These are all stuff that are folded away into the big muddy monster file. So that's why the dates are there's discrepancies in the dates. But go ahead.
Yeah. So my point or my question is, when you have a sighting or you're a witness to something, I don't care if it's a crime or you witnessed a creature, you witnessed an accident, this and this and this and that. What do you think your recollection would be? Because it always fascinates me when I read or I watch a crime file or something, and some guy's talking about, okay, 10 years ago, we're on trial for the assault on Larry or whatever. Sorry, Larry.
There's Larry again.
Whatever. That's the only one that popped in my head, right? And then let me call your witness. Yeah, yes. The guy, he came over there. He was wearing a purple mask. It was kind of dark out, but it was purple mask. And I think he was probably 5'10". He probably weighed like 150 pounds. And I know he had a red handled knife. He had a knife, and the knife was probably 6 to 7 inches long. And it's probably about around 2:30 in the morning, and it was kind of drizzly outside. And then he took a swipe, and he kind of said, I think he said the words poop, 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 or whatever. Like, how detailed would you think you would be? Because human nature, for my brain, lets things, like, it doesn't absorb a lot of different things. And
I think one. Sorry to interject there, but what's important is if they're telling the truth. If you're telling the truth, your story is not going to change, no matter how further along down the road we're going. I mean, the details might get a little blurry. Some of the.
But I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm saying, would you be that type of detailed oriented person if you saw? I know you're telling the truth. You know what you saw. Would you be able to be that intricate when you're talking about something? Like, let's say 70 year or 10 years, again, use the 10 years later, there's some kind of symposium on Bigfoot sightings, and you stand up and you say, yeah, hello. Yeah, I saw Bigfoot 10 years ago, and this is what I saw. Yeah. I was 100 yards away. It was this away. It was blah, 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 blah. How is your recall memory is what I'm
Are you asking me personally, or are you just throwing the question out?
It's kind of like a broad question. Yeah. But I don't know how. I guess so. You're saying
you don't trust yourself.
Yeah, it's very fascinating when it's a 10-year-old and 11-year-old, and they're saying that it's probably 7 feet tall, and it looked like it weighed 300 and some pounds, and they're very specific. These interviews are taking place immediately after. I know that. I understand that, but I'm thinking in general, it's just.
Give me an example of your description then. What would you say? I saw something. Well, can you give us a detail? But I saw something. Well, we need to know something about it. But I saw something.
I know I sound like a fucking idiot. I get
no,
it.
You don't.
I understand it, but it's the... I wish I could explain it better, you fucking moron.
He's having a stroke. He's falling over.
I'm the guy that was stuck in that mud. It wasn't a freaking muddy monster of Istanbul, Illinois. See what I'm saying?
It was Constantinople.
Yeah. I know you don't understand what I'm saying. I don't even understand what I'm saying. It's like you're absolutely right. Like when you asked me about that, I heard that ghost and I could explain it to you and this and I heard or whatever, not a ghost, but I heard that sound, "Hello, Joseph," and I could tell you where I was standing and poop like that. So it's just I totally understand the idea of how hard it is to prove something, I guess is what I'm saying. Because anything,
for sure.
And even if you are 100% telling the
it's not proof to someone else.
No, even if you're 100% telling the truth and you know what you saw, over years and years and years, it's always going to change somewhat, and it's always going to be somewhat different.
I do push back a little bit. I do push back just a little bit on that.
Okay,
because I do think
fair enough.
If you do, again, and not to beat a dead horse here and stuff, but I do think if you are truthful, for the most part, when you share your story throughout the years, assuming you're still of sound mind, down the road, your story is going to be essentially the same as it was when you first reported it. So little details might get fuzzy here and there.
No, you're right. You're right.
The road.
I wish I could have worded it
It's
better.
when you're lying. It's when you're lying and making stuff up. That's when the details start getting switched up. And it's like, well, you told us 5 years ago that the creature was orange. Now you're saying that's pink? Oh, yeah. Well, no, because you're changing up because you lied. And
so you're basically saying that you will always say it's orange if it was orange.
Yes,
30 years
I think
from
so.
now, you would say it's orange and say, well...
Yes, I mean, if it's something... I mean, it's impossible to predict, but I'm saying me personally, if I saw something like this, that would be etched in my brain, and I would always have the same vision in my mind for the rest of my life.
I think what I think is that impresses me the most is that I can make an educated guess, I guess, is what everybody's saying, when they describe physical characteristics. And even, like I said, imagine it's a 10-year-old saying, he is 7 feet tall.
Sure,
it's like, how do they understand? I mean, it's in the weight.
Well, they probably
40 pounds.
All I can guess on that one is that, they're 10, 11, and 13. I'm sure they've heard how tall their dad is at one point or another. And so they'll be like, well, he was taller than Dad, so I would say maybe 7 feet.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm not poo-pooing any of this and not being the Debbie Downer. It's like I always kind of not question myself, but it's like how would I be when I'm trying to describe something?
You are just right. So what you've been talking about essentially is that you and I'm being totally serious, is that you doubt yourself when it comes to describing an experience that you've had from the initial experience to 5 years later or 10 years later.
Yeah, like I always start questioning. I question everything. It's like, oh, you know what? Gotcha. I should probably go see that tree that he was standing by. Oh, that's a 6 foot tree, and he was still below that 6 foot tree. Oh, so that means he wasn't 6 foot or 7 foot. Yeah, I'm an overthinker. That's all I'm saying, and I would overthink myself back to hell. Yeah. And then I would say, I'm sorry. It's like, remember that when we came and interviewed about that creature you saw about 5 years ago, sir? Yeah, and you said it was 8 foot tall, probably around 400 pounds. I'm like, no, it was 2 foot 2. It was a cow, and it was chasing a monkey.
Well, that kind of deviates from your original story a little bit there, sir. It's like, nope, it's a cow chasing a monkey 2 feet tall.
2 feet tall monkey, and he was wearing socks. I swear to God, it was socks. Orange socks. Yeah, I just overthink, and I overthink everything. I overthought that question, and I just can go on forever. But yeah, my brain plays tricks on me. Like, did I see that? And then you start questioning it all the time.
Of course.
So
this one, as again, we're jumping back and forth. This one's going back to 76, but it's still the same time of the year, late June. This is June 27th when this was reported. Case file 63051, again, Murfreesboro, Illinois. This one was listed as a possible bear sighting. The complainant / reporter, I guess. This is an interesting name. His name is Merle Mifflin.
Merle
Mifflin.
Hey, Merle, if you're still around.
And Merle is spelt M-U-R-L. Oh, okay, cool.
The parents were too lazy to spell it out. Saying,
yes!
Just call him Merle! M-U-R-L!
Shit, cut it down to M-L.
Yeah, come home, it's time for supper. Sorry, Merle.
Have you seen Merle? No, it's okay.
Love you, Merle.
So this one, again, around the same time, approximately 2,100 hours, June 27, 1976, Murfreesboro Police Department received a report from one Merle Mifflin via public service that the Big Muddy Monster had been seen near his residence. See, by this time, the name had stuck. He had actually referred to it as the Big Muddy Monster. So
Oh.
that's intriguing. So the legend maybe was growing already over that 3-year span. And he's saying, I saw the Big Muddy Monster. My name's Brr, and I saw it. So, again, listen to this one now. I am not joking. Officers Nash
Jesus
and
Christ.
and Rivaldi. That's a different one again.
Keeps having. There's something going on with that gosh darn Nash, man.
He's I don't know.
He
People
must
don't
be
like
an
Nash.
asshole. It's like, God damn it, every time I'm next to you, I gotta go watch up. I gotta watch up.
Okay, so officers Rivaldi and Nash were dispatched to the complainant's residence.
Nash, Jesus Christ, Nash.
Oh, man.
He's never getting a promotion.
Upon arrival, officers spoke with the complainant, who stated that his children and a visitor had seen what is believed to be the, quote, Big Muddy Monster. Merle Mifflin stated that his 2 children, Michael and Melinda, were playing just north of their residence with a friend from Belleville, Illinois, Karen D. Gruber.
Ooh, I've been to Belleville,
when
Illinois.
Oh, nice. When they saw a large animal walking through a small wooded area where they were playing. The complainant also stated that his dog was with the children when he started barking, but would not enter the wooded area. Again, something maybe perhaps of significance there. No small details. The complainant stated that this was a strange way for his dog to act. Officers accompanied by the complainant checked the entire area surrounding the residence on foot, but could not find any trace or any type of animal. Officer Bovaldi then interviewed each of the 3 children, the 3 witnesses, and obtained the following description. This is from witness Michael. Michael described the supposed monster to be 6 feet tall, weighing between 5 to 6 tons, and to have I'm assuming that's the kid doesn't know his weight.
Yeah,
obviously does. But they have to write it down verbatim.
Yep.
And to have a black furry coat. So that's the first one. All the other ones have been described as light colored, cream colored, muddy,
gray.
This one is black. This witness stated that he observed the monster along a creek bank southwest of his house around 9 a.m. in the morning. Second witness, Karen D. Gruber, stated that she and the other 2 witnesses were playing on a swing approximately 75 feet northwest of the residence when she heard something walking in the wooded area. As the dog began barking, she observed an object that was, quote, real tall, fat, and big, walking around in the woods. The object was walking south. This occurred around 8:45 p.m. Then Melinda Mifflin was also playing near the swing, and she saw just an object walking through the woods. So again, I mean, that's okay.
Michael,
different
Merle,
color,
and Melinda.
Michael, Merle, and Melinda. Now we're going back to 1973, and we will wrap this up here because we need to get moving here. This is a long case file, buddy. We're only sharing a few of the reported sightings. So again, if you are interested, I highly encourage you to go to murphysboro.com. You can check out the entire caseload here. This will be the last one that I share, Joe, if that's okay with you.
Yes, no worries.
This is case file 73-2745. This was reported by one Bert Miller. Report of a large unknown creature. Approximately 1805 hours, July 7th, the first July sighting. We've all been Juners so far. This goes back to 1973. Oh my God, it never ends.
Is it Nash?
Officers Nash and Glodo this time. This is
They just put Nash on all of them. Nash, get over there, you dummy.
It's a different person every time besides Nash.
You can imagine, here's the police department, and you got all your officers in there, and there's little Nash. He's probably some weird old obese dude. He's just sitting there. He's got his glasses down the tip of his nose. And he goes, I love Sasquatch hat on.
Right.
And then
we got another one for you, Nash.
And you see all the other officers trying to slowly leave. And it's like, nope, you, Glotto, you're next.
And he's like, God damn it, really?
Oh, poor Dash.
Why do I see Nash as having like those big, like kind of walleye glasses too, like those super thick lenses?
Yeah,
His eyes are
big,
ginormous.
Yeah.
Oh, Nash. He's probably a wonderful human being.
Oh,
Hopefully
he
he's
probably
still alive.
is. Hello, Nash. We love you.
So officers Nash and Glotto were stopped at Riverside Park by complainant Miller, owner of Miller Carnival, to report his workers seeing a large creature near the carnival area the previous morning. Miller stated that he did not report it at the time, as the report might have scared off persons who would have other else potentially visited his carnival. Okay, yep, absolutely, makes sense. Miller directed officers to 4 workers who observed the creature. The workers stated that approximately 0200 hours on July 7th, 1973, they heard the ponies causing a disturbance and attempted to pull loose from the trees which they were tied to. So they had ponies tied up to trees, and they were getting all rattled and riled up. So they're trying to remove the ponies from the trees. The ponies were tied to the trees in an area just east of the West Shelter and behind the carnival tracks. The workers proceeded around the truck to check the ponies and then observed a large creature described as between 7 and 8 feet tall, light brown hair covering its entire body, standing erect on 2 legs and weighing between 300 and 400 pounds. The creature was reported standing very near the ponies and seemed to be curious of the ponies, but made no advance. Ooh, I like that. I don't know. I sounded creepy when I said that. When you hear those small details, when they say this creature seemed to be really intrigued by these ponies.
Right.
I mean, what's he thinking? Is he thinking,
I'm going to eat them?
You're right. Do I want to eat them, or are they playthings, or are they my buddies? I don't know. The workers then ran to the carnival owner's trailer and reported it to him. Upon checking the area with the owner, the creature was gone. At approximately 0300 hours, July 7th, 1973, Charles Kimball, carnival worker, stated that the creature reappeared near the ponies and again seemed interested in said ponies. Kimball then ran to the owner's trailer, and upon checking with the owner, the creature was found. No footprints were located in the area. Again, we could go on and on and on. This is utterly fascinating. You can find the files murphysboro.com. The Big Muddy Monster. I am really, for one, glad that we talked about this, Joe, because as I mentioned before, I never heard of this case.
Never. No, and there's so much to it. Like,
there's so many. Yes, this is absolutely fascinating. I mean,
and Nash.
I downloaded the files.
Was involved in every one of them.
He's involved in all of them. So, I mean, God bless you, Nash. I hope eventually, if you get to the bottom of the files, that maybe he saw something, or I don't know, make it all worthwhile.
Last one is like Nash of Nash and Nash.
Yes,
finally
help Nash and
saw
Nash.
the creature.
And then he fell dead.
He fell dead. Happy as a lark.
I hope that he's alive and well, but maybe not. That's a long time ago. My God, that's over 50 years. So, I mean, this has been absolutely fascinating. I love sharing this with you. Again, you can download these files if you are an aficionado of all things Bigfoot. Yeah, go to murphysboro.com.
Sweet.
Any final thoughts on this, Joe? This has been a great discussion. Again, thank you for making the time.
Yeah,
always
this is more believable than a lot of them because there's so much to it, and it's so detail oriented in the case files and what they wrote down and what everybody saw,
and over a course of years,
over the course of this, and pretty much being spot on with the description of the creature, mostly light color,
exception of the black one,
of the
black color one,
and the 4 or 5 tons.
I mean, again,
little
we'll give him a break. Yeah, we'll give him a break on that one.
But yeah, very fascinating and very makes you really. If I was a skeptic about it, I would, I'd lean towards like, wow, this is pretty fascinating, and because it's such a yeah, you don't get many police reports when it comes to. This.
The thing is, I mean, you should, how can we phrase that? You don't get many similarly repeated incidents in the same locale, the same police department over a course of years.
And basically the same time frame and everything. So
the same time frame. Yeah, they're all summer dates so far. I mean, they could vary as we go down the list. We're cutting it short here for time restraints, but utterly fascinating. Maybe there's still sightings to this day. I'd have to look deeper into it, but the Big Muddy Monster phenomenon, hopefully it's still alive and well. I need to do my due diligence and dive deeper into the story itself. But pretty cool, man. Pretty intriguing. Chalk it up to another potential reality in my book.
Oh, absolutely. And then I'm surprised, like, the Finding Bigfoot people like Chris Moneymaker and all that kind of stuff didn't go on
or Matt Moneymaker.
Matt Moneymaker. What did I say? Always Chris Moneymaker. He's the damn.
Okay.
He's the damn poker winner. He won the World Series of Poker. Many years ago.
Oh.
Yeah. Any hoozle. Yeah, he was the first like amateur person to win the damn $10 million.
Oh, yeah. I had no idea.
Anyways, I always get them mixed up. Surprised they didn't go and do a Finding Bigfoot episode in that.
Well, maybe it's in the works. You never know. I mean, I know the show's been off the air for a while, but I think the group is still doing, as far as I know, they're still doing investigations. I'm not sure about. I know Bobo and I'm drawing a blank on the other guy's name. They have a podcast.
Cliff.
So I believe
it's Cliff.
Cliff Brackman. Yeah. Who I did reach out to a while ago about potentially appearing on the show, and he said he'd be happy. He said he'd be happy to, but he just couldn't find a time during that time, and he's like, feel free to reach out again, and I haven't done that. But
you should. He's a interesting and well spoken individual. I
think he's respected in the field too, so that's important.
Yes, I've seen him on other different shows as well, being the expert guy that came in when they were doing. It was a different series, and he was part.
I'm the expert guy.
What's your name, Cliff? The expert guy. What are you an expert on? What are you an expert on? Oh, I don't know. Big old hairy things.
Yes, fat, obese, hairy things.
Yes.
I will say, sorry with all those references. Before we go, I think it's important to go back. You briefly mentioned how you had recently run into an old friend who you would trust with your kids. Let's put it that way.
Yes,
right. And she had shared with you unbelievably intriguing, highly detailed encounters / sightings with Bigfoot in your neck of the woods, literally in your neck of the woods. And I find that utterly believable, utterly fascinating. Maybe someday we'll have to, if she doesn't mind, we'll have to share her stories.
On the podcast. For sure. I'll even ask her sometime and see.
I think that'd be great. Get as much details as you can,
I think she would enjoy doing something like this, but just because she's a hardy believer. And just by her saying that, because I had my Sasquatch as my spirit animal T-shirt on, and she made a reference. She just she did one of those reaching out to that feely thing to see where I would go with it, and then realizing that, okay, I can trust him and say, boom.
Yep. He's one of us.
Yep.
He's one of us.
Because you don't know, man. The people still think you're a nut job if you believe in that stuff. So
I know. Well, for sure. But I just wanted to point that out, that you would trust this woman with your kids, and she is not lying. This isn't flight of fancy going on by any means.
No, not at all. No, you would. Yeah.
And
she was.
And it's also her and her husband experienced stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So we should talk about that sometime in an episode in the near future. But that being said, Mr. Show, my brother Joe, thank you so much for making this happen. This has been I hope you've enjoyed yourself. This has been a blast.
Always
find this case
fascinating. Do. I love doing that, and look forward to our next retro and random thing and whatever else.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got to talk
well,
about
until next time.
Ace Frehley, rest in peace, brother.
R.I.P. Yep, we're going to do a tribute episode to Mr. Ace Frehley on the next episode of Retro and Randoms. Available exclusively on our Patreon page. And you know what? If you've made it through this entire length of this episode, God bless you. We love you. And if you truly enjoy the content, if you truly enjoy the content of the Paranormally Zone and you'd like to support us, no better way than to give our Paranormally Zone Patreon page a shot. That's a lot of P's right there. I'm popping my P's. You can sign up for as little as $1 a month. You can sign up for as little as $1 a month. No obligations. You don't have to stick around. Yeah, we'd love to see you guys there. We do have free episodes available as well if you want to kind of dip your fingers into the water, dip your toes into the Paranormally Zone Patreon page, so to speak. We'd love to see you guys there. We have well over 100 exclusive episodes available, as well as the Retro and Randoms episodes and our True Crime Wicked Legacies podcast as well. Can't find them any other place. Joe, thank you so much, my brother. You have a great day, as well as everyone listening. Thank you so much. Until next time, everybody, a peace out.